And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics, and now here's your host, Robert Cardoza. And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every single Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows, and you can access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at 646-652-2464. Again, that number is 646-652-2464. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Now, my expert contributor today is John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, talking about food and wine. And my special guest is John Kirk, the Wizard of Words, talking about business success through scripting. But right now, I want you to know that at 4:02 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently, 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. And we've got about 50% humidity, so it's a little bit sticky out there. And for those diehards out there that are wondering what's going to happen over the weekend, well, it's 40% chance of rain on Friday and Saturday, but Sunday we should be back to normal. Of course, Saturday, it would be 40% chance of rain. I don't know what it'll be in San Diego just yet, but I'm planning on taking my lovely wife there for her birthday, and so we'll see what happens. But right now, let's talk about what's in the news. We've capsulated this so that we can get a lot of things in, and you can have conversations with your friends and neighbors, the people you work with, work for, and they'll know that you know what's going on in the world today. And first up, Warren strikes back at Obama with a scathing report on trade. Senator Warren, a Democrat, on today issued a report slamming U.S. trade deals, citing decades of broken promises. Warren has been a consistent thorn in Obama's side, arguing that Obama's TPP deal is bad for the American worker. This analysis reveals that the rhetoric has not matched the reality, the report concludes. The fight has created odd alliances as Republicans have supported Obama, specifically in giving him fast-track authority to sign off on new trade deals. And Obama unveils restrictions on military-style guns and gear. President Obama has banned the sale of some kinds of military equipment to local law enforcement agencies. The equipment ranges from grenade launchers to bayonets to certain armored vehicles. It's part of the president's implementing the recommendations of a panel that examined the gear giveaways in the wake of the Ferguson riots. The announcements come as Obama is visiting Camden, one of the country's most violent and poorest cities. And 192 arrested in Texas biker gang shooting. A whopping 192 people have been arrested in connection with the Texas shooting Sunday that left 9 dead, cops said today. The 192 people being arrested were charged with engaging in organized crime. The shootout erupted between rival bike gangs at Twin Peaks restaurant near Waco. All of the deaths and injuries were among the bikers. Well, at least they kept it to themselves, right? How about this? Fall of Ramadi calls into question Obama's strategy in the ISIS fight. The western Iraqi city of Ramadi on Sunday fell to ISIS, a major setback in the campaign against the Islamic extremists. It comes just days after the United States announced the killing of a top ISIS financier. Bodies, some burned, littered the streets as officials reported the militants carried out mass killings of Iraqi security forces and civilians. The defeat calls into question the Obama administration's hopes of relying solely on airstrikes to support the Iraqi forces in expelling the extremists. And one Marine killed, 21 hospitalized after hard landing in Hawaii. One Marine was killed and 21 others were hospitalized Sunday after an Osprey aircraft made a hard landing in Hawaii. It caused a fire that sent dark smoke billowing into the sky. The tilt-rotor MV-22 Osprey, which can take off and land like a helicopter but has wings to fly like an airplane, had a hard landing mishap. The 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit is based at Camp Pendleton in California. Hey, a daredevil, Dean Potter, among two killed in a Yosemite base jumping accident. Prominent base jumpers Dean Potter and Graham Hunt died in a base jumping accident at Yosemite National Park this weekend. The pair crashed late on Saturday after leaping from a 7,500-foot promontory called Taft Point. Potter, 43 years old, was a pioneer in an intersection of extreme sports that included rock climbing and skydiving. He was one of the most recognizable figures in the sport, known for pushing the boundaries of what was possible in base jumping. And Hill Street Blues, Clinton looks to reinvent as true progressive for 2016. Hillary Clinton is running as the most liberal Democratic frontrunner in decades as part of a strategic shift that her campaign can harness the same coalition Obama did in 2008 and 2012. It hinges on a conclusion that the broad appeal of issues such as paid family leave and a higher minimum wage will drive votes. Critics accuse Clinton of flip-flopping on some issues and hiding on others, such as free trade. She'll have to prove to progressives that she is one of them, as her views have appeared to conveniently change along the same lines as public opinion. Hey, Al Sharpton's daughter sues New York City for $5 million over a sprained ankle. The oldest daughter of Al Sharpton is suing the city of New York for $5 million after she injured her ankle while walking down the street. Dominique Sharpton, 29 years old, said she was severely injured, bruised, and wounded when she stumbled over uneven pavement in October. The suit was filed against the city departments of transportation and environmental protection. Sharpton wants damages for the loss of quality of life, future pain and suffering, and future medical bills. Go figure, right? How about this? 9 dead after a biker gang shooting in central Texas. You know what? We already talked about that. I'm not going to talk about it again. I'm not going to talk about Iraqi forces anymore. How about this? Under new orders, Amtrak installs speed controls. And I'll tell you all about this. You're not going to believe it right after these brief messages. Don't go away. If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you.
The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. When we left, we were talking about the news, and I was getting ready to talk to you about the Amtrak. Under new orders, Amtrak installs speed controls. Amtrak was spending the weekend installing new speed controls on the section of track where the train derailed near Philly. The installation of the automatic train control ATC system to slow speeding trains follows an order by the Federal Railroad Administration. The train that crashed this week, Northeast Regional Train 188, was traveling at 106 miles per hour when it entered the curve, according to the NTSB. Had the train been operating at max authorized speed heading into the curve, it would not have come off the tracks, Amtrak wrote. You know what Amtrak didn't write? Is they spent the weekend putting in technology that they've already had, and they had to wait until 8 people died and hundreds of people got injured to put it in. You know, they're saying they did it because of the Federal Railroad Administration. Well, they had till the end of the year to put this in. I don't know why they were waiting on the busiest section of track in the United States. This is unconscionable. That's all I can say about it. Well, U.S. and China won't budge a bit over South China Sea activity. China and the United States both held firm Saturday over Beijing's assertive development in disputed areas of the South China Sea. Minister Wang Yi pointedly dismissed Washington's push for a diplomatic solution. The Chinese claims and land reclamation projects have rattled the region, and the actions carry a real risk of conflict in the future. The Obama administration argues that the maritime safety of the world's busiest commercial shipping routes is a national security issue. Oh boy, here we go. We haven't got trouble enough, right? Well, Notre Dame student dies from a fall one day before his graduation. A Notre Dame student died Saturday, just one day before he was set to graduate. William Meckling, 21 years old, fell from the roof of an athletic building. Apparently, a group of students had gone up to the roof, but it was wet from precipitation, and it's not known if alcohol was actually a factor here. Meckling was a mechanical engineering major and a member of the Notre Dame fencing team. And GOP leaders fear wide-open race puts party in the danger zone. Well, with no clear frontrunner, GOP officials are acknowledging that a long and drawn-out primary could be a problem for the party. A race stretching into spring 2016 could cost presidential aspirants extra tens of millions and pull them farther to the right ideologically. We're in a danger zone, said Doug Gross, a GOP insider in Iowa. What we've got is a lot of candidates who aren't standing out, and in order to stand out, you need to scream the loudest. Meanwhile, the Democrats face the opposite problem, with their race seen as a coronation rather than a legitimate debate of ideas. Hear, hear. Well, U.S. commandos kill a senior ISIS leader in Syria. United States commandos mounted a rare raid into eastern Syria overnight, killing a senior Islamic State commander in a firefight. They also captured his wife and rescued a Yazidi woman held as a slave. Defense Secretary Ash Carter announced the raid, identifying the militant as Abu Sayyaf. Now, this is only the second time troops have carried out a ground raid in the fight against ISIS. And ousted Egyptian leader Morsi sentenced to death for passing state secrets. Egypt's ousted President Mohamed Morsi was sentenced to death on Saturday for espionage and jailbreak nearly 2 years after his overthrow. Morsi was ousted by then Army Chief and now President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in July of 2013 following mass street protests. His overthrow triggered a government crackdown on his Muslim Brotherhood movement. Morsi had already been sentenced last month to 20 years in prison for inciting violence against protesters in 2012. And all 8 bodies recovered from the downed U.S. Marine chopper in Nepal. The wreckage of a Marine helicopter from Camp Pendleton, missing in Nepal since Tuesday, has been found and there are no survivors. 6 Marines and 2 Nepalese soldiers were aboard the UH-1Y Huey when it disappeared while on a relief mission for the earthquake victims. They were courageous, they were selfless individuals dedicated to the international rescue mission here in Nepal, Marine Lieutenant General John Whistler said. 31-year-old Captain Chris Norgren of Wichita, Kansas, was identified as the pilot. The others will be named sometime this weekend. They're waiting for notification of the next of kin. And Clinton's earned more than $25 million for speeches since 2014. Bill and Hillary Clinton have made more than $25 million in speaking fees since the start of 2014, the report says. Those speaking fees came from around 100 speeches since 2014. Hillary Clinton also made $5 million or more from her book, Hard Choices. The Clintons' finances came into focus last year when Hillary made her infamous dead broke comments. Furthermore, the book, Clinton Cash, raises questions about the connection between speeches Bill gave and actions Hillary took as Secretary of State. But I've got to tell you something, folks. That's an average of about it's less than $500,000 a speech. You know what? Richard Nixon made over $1 million a speech. Ronald Reagan made $2 million for a 1-hour speech in Japan. This is not unprecedented. And, dead broke is relative compared to your lifestyle and what was going on. And you know what? They weren't dead broke. I'd like to be as broke as they were. However, they weren't exactly swimming in affluence either. And with the sacrifices they've made, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, they're entitled to some benefits after those sacrifices and the good that was done during the 8 years of presidency with Bill Clinton, forgetting about the controversies. Well, an FBI is to probe whether crashed Amtrak train was hit or shot at. The FBI has been asked to investigate the possibility that the Amtrak train that crashed near Philly was hit by a bullet. According to the NTSB, an assistant conductor claimed to have overheard a regional train engineer saying he had been hit by a rock or shot at. Inspectors reviewing the scene of the crash have seen damage to the left-hand lower portion of the Amtrak windshield. The train was traveling at over 100 miles an hour, heading into a steep curve when it crashed. And finally, Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is sentenced to death. In case you missed it on Friday when we gave it to you, convicted Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev was sentenced to death by lethal injection last Friday. 17 of the 30 charges. Tsarnaev, 21 years of age, was convicted of carrying the possibility of the death penalty. Those inside the courtroom said he was utterly emotionless as the verdict was read. 3 people were killed and more than 260 were injured when 2 pressure cooker bombs exploded at the finish line of the Boston Marathon in 2013. The prosecution told jurors Tsarnaev was a remorseless terrorist worthy of the death penalty, while the defense said he was repentant and deserved to be spared. Well, I don't think he was repentant, and the only reason I would spare him is so that he wouldn't become a martyr in his own mind. So, having said that, don't go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS loses. And first up, there is no penalty for an honest mistake. I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS Loses. We could call it the Personal Winners Hotline. And first up, the IRS Loses. There's no penalty for an honest mistake. Let me tell you all about it. Jorge Sabota exercised stock options to receive $75,000 of income that was taxable as wages, but he didn't understand the tax law and reported it as tax-favored capital gain. Now, when the IRS increased his tax bill, it added a 20% penalty. He protested, went to tax court. This is what the judge actually said. Mr. Savota's mistaken reporting of the income resulted from an honest misunderstanding of the law that is reasonable in light of his experience, or lack thereof, knowledge, and education. Since there was reasonable cause explaining his good faith error, the penalty is lifted. You got to love this stuff. I got to tell you what, even when I don't agree with it, when the IRS loses, I love it. Anyway, how about this one? The IRS loses. They cannot collect non-payment penalties when no return was actually filed. Here's the case. Charles Wheeler didn't file a tax return to report his retirement income for more than $40,000. Now, the IRS assessed tax. He filed a case in tax court, and the court decided the amount of tax that he actually owed. The IRS then sought penalties for non-payment of the tax and of estimated taxes. So he went to court. This is what the judge said about this. The non-payment of tax penalty is based on the amount of tax due as shown on the return. But Wheeler hadn't filed a return, and the IRS hadn't filed a substitute return for him. Similarly, the minimum estimated tax payments due are based on the prior year's return, but the IRS hadn't put one into evidence. So the penalties cannot be collected. It's a big deal, folks, when you start thinking about 20% of the tax owed. And if it's tax on $75,000, you could be talking about, let's say you got about $25,000 in tax due, and then there's 20% due on that, so you got another $5,000 on top of that. That's a big thing, guys. How about this? The IRS concedes. Now, you've heard me say it many times. They only concede when they're pretty sure they can't win a case. In this case, an auditor can consider unfiled form to shift exemption for child of a divorced parent. Here's the case. When divorced parents have a child, the non-custodial parent cannot claim a dependency exemption for the child unless the parent with custody signs IRS Form 8332. That's release of claim of exemption for a child of divorced or separated parents, or a similar statement. Now, IRS regulations then require that this form be attached to the return of the non-custodial parent who claims the exemption. Now, the IRS legal opinion? When parents dispute who gets the exemption, an auditor can consider a signed Form 8332 even if it wasn't properly attached to the return as evidence of who should get the exemption on the merits, with the non-custodial parent remaining eligible. Now, when you start signing that 8332, be careful because there's two boxes to check off there. One gives the exemption for this year only, and you do it every year or every other year, depending on what your circumstances are. The other box is you get the exemption forever. Depending on who you are, that mistake could be really costly or really beneficial. How about this? The IRS loses 6-hour layovers make away-from-home expenses deductible. This is kind of interesting. A ferry captain on Puget Sound, Washington, worked 17-hour days on runs completed within 24 hours that included a 6-hour layover at an away-from-home port. He paid for his own meals and deducted them and other costs as away-from-home travel expenses. But the IRS disallowed the deductions, saying he was never away from home. He had used no premises or hotel room in the distant port, but only slept on the boat when necessary. So they went to court. This is what the judge said. The captain did sleep during the layovers, and the need to sleep on a trip is a test of being away from home. For tax purposes anyway. The fact that he slept on the boat didn't matter. So the captain qualifies. Now that, you have just got to love that. You just got to love it. Now, you know what? You heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS does stuff. That's where we're at right now when we talk about inside the IRS. And you know what I want to talk to you about is one specific thing that kind of caught my eye, and that is volunteer preparer foul-ups. And boy, that happens a lot more than you might think when you start talking about volunteers. So let me tell you all about this thing right now. Volunteer preparer foul-ups, according to a recently released report by the Treasury Inspector General, more than half of the tax returns prepared by the federal government's volunteer income tax assistance program during last year's filing season were inaccurate. The Inspector General based his report on the results of a test sample of 36 tax returns. 22 of the 36 found to contain errors. Now, in recent years, the IRS has been criticized for delegating too much of its own responsibility for taxpayer service to volunteers who lack the experience to gather the proper information and apply the appropriate tax law. So here's a lesson to be learned. You get what you pay for. That's always going to be the case. You know what? Now, don't go away, because when we come back, we've got him. He's waiting in the wings. I can't wait to talk to him. Our own Wizard of Words, John Kurth. And John will be with us right after these brief messages. Do you suffer from autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, or weight loss problems? Geared for Wellness can help. Sean Lefebvre and his Geared for Wellness program employs a synergistic team including experts in the fields of chiropractic, diet, nutrition, and neurotoxicity. Together, their experienced team is trained in utilizing cutting-edge and up-to-date nutrition and cellular detoxification programs designed to treat autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, Graves' disease,
weight loss resistance, fibromyalgia, and much more. Contact them today to schedule your 100% guaranteed consultation. If you don't agree that they can help you, you don't pay. Call them now at 442-400-4373 or go to their webpage at www.gearedforwellness.com. Again, that number is 442-400-4373. You'll be glad you did. Set Up My Cell is a smartphone and tablet setup and training service that sends a tech to your location. That's right. Set Up My Cell will send a live tech to your home or office for smartphone and tablet tech support and training. Their techs can fix email glitches, sync iPhones with Android, PC, and Mac, and so much more. Contact them toll-free at 888-628-1119. For individuals, learn about everything our techs can do to help you make friends with your smart device. It is our opinion that a basic setup should be installed onto every device. Learn how we guide you through the session to choose the best apps and configurations with training. And for businesses, loading apps, configurations, security settings, training, we are able to help with all aspects of your investment. Please visit our webpage at setupmycell.com and don't forget to call us at 888-628-1119. Are you looking for real conservative talk from real conservatives? You need to listen to my good friend John Matthews on his radio show, The Conservative Syndicate. For over 50 years, the progressive movement has worked to redefine our Constitution by erecting an imaginary wall of separation between church and state through legislation and adjudication that encourages government dependence and the licensing of immorality that removes personal responsibility. The Conservative Syndicate seeks to tear down this wall through education, information, and engagement with those who seek uncompromising truth regarding the religion of politics and the politics of religion. It is time to reclaim our standing as one nation under God, hosted by John Matthews, citizen by birth, Christian by grace, patriot by choice, and conservative by all that is reasonable. John's radio show is globally syndicated daily. Go to his website at www.theconservativesyndicate.net for broadcast information. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:33 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's beautiful out there. And you know what? Our Wizard of Words is waiting in the wings. I can't wait what he's got. Wait for what he's got. Wait to hear what he has for us today. Let's bring him in here before I get any more time. And now it's time for our Wizard of Words, John Kurth, president and founder of Syntactic Sales Scripting. He helps business owners, sales managers, and individual salespeople create winning sales scripts that win more customers. John has more than 12 years of combined international sales experience in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the United States. Here now is our own John Kurth, the Wizard of Words, helping you obtain scripting success beyond your greatest expectations. Good to have you here with us today. So, I always look forward to you coming in here because for a number of reasons. Some I'm not going to admit to, nor will I divulge. But the biggest one is that what you have to say is not only so invaluable to most people, especially those, whether you're in business for yourself or you're working for someone else, the information you're giving out is worth just thousands upon thousands of dollars for those people that actually take that information and make it their own. So, I'm anxious to hear what you have to say every week.
Thanks, Robert. So what I'm going to be talking about today is congruency, authenticity, and authentic presence. So let's focus on congruency. Whether you're a business owner or a salesperson, it doesn't matter what form or what type of role you have, we really need to focus on congruency. It's one of the most important skills and important things you need to develop as a professional. Now, the important thing is we need to find what is congruency and why do we need it. Well, if you're congruent, you're going to be more successful in your communications, regardless of what you're communicating, whether you're communicating with intention to persuade for someone who wants to buy your product or service, whether it's to influence or it's just talking to your kids, trying to get them to do what you want them to do. That can be one of the most challenging of them all. The important thing is, why do you need congruency? Congruency, Congruency is going to give you that effective communication that you're looking for. Now, let's define what congruency is. What is it? Congruency is an alignment of your words, your tonality, your physiology, everything. To be congruent is to be in alignment. We all know and had experience when people have lied to us. Something just didn't feel right. Something was incongruent. So the more congruent you are, the more effective you're going to be in your presentation. So let's figure out how you can develop congruency when you're dealing with a sales presentation or you're a business owner. How do you develop congruency? First of all, is a deep understanding of your products or services. You have to understand it inside out. Now, you simply cannot have a deep enough understanding of your product or service. It's important to note, though, that deep understanding from your perspective, but also from your potential customer's perspective. You have to literally get into the shoes of your potential customer and how they would understand or could see using your product or service. So when you have that deep understanding, you come from a place of confidence. You know this. You know the material. And people are going to buy that confidence. So you have to have a deep understanding of your product or service. Now, one thing you need to be aware of, some salespeople use focusing on their product knowledge, I just got to learn more and more and more, as an excuse not to sell. They aren't ready yet. They aren't ready yet. Well, you may be asking yourself, what if I'm just new to my business? What if I'm new and I've just had my basic training? Let me give an example. People in financial services, particularly insurance. Years ago when I was selling long-term care insurance, I understood what I could from it, but as soon as I was brand new, I went out there and was selling. But the thing is, I had to understand that what I knew about that product or service was like a PhD level compared to my potential customers who didn't understand much of it at all. So one of the ways how you can develop one of the elements of congruency is a deep understanding of your product or service, and also from the potential customer's point of view. Another component of congruency is passion. You must be passionate about what you're selling. If you're not passionate, find something else to sell. Now, there's an old saying in selling, passion on fire will outperform knowledge on ice. Important thing is you must be passionate. We've seen salespeople, and we've made sales on our own when we were new and just, this is great. You need this product or service. Some people are selling just from a passion point of view, and they make sales. The thing is, their passion needs to be focused. Think about light. Sunlight, it's great stuff. But if you use a magnifying glass, now it can start a fire. That passion is more concentrated. That light is more concentrated. You get it as focused as a laser. A laser can cut through steel. So you must one of the ways to develop that congruency is with your passion. And part of passion comes from belief. Belief in your product or service. I often tell my clients, I ask them this question, if you had the cure for cancer, would you take no for an answer? People say no, of course not. If they had the cure for cancer, they would not take no for an answer. That's the level of passion you need to have for your product or service. And you need to understand that your product or service can be that life-changing for your particular customer. That's the level of passion. You must view your product or service as that possibly life-changing for your clients. If you don't have that level of passion, people are going to pick it up and they aren't going to buy from you. Yes, you need to have deep product knowledge, and you must balance that with passion for your product or service. Here's some quick tests. If you don't believe in your product or service, you better find one that does, that you can believe in, because That's on the congruency. You can just go through the motions, but people will pick it up. Why aren't people buying from me? Well, if you don't believe in your product or service, that's a key point. What about your company? Now, no company is ever going to be perfect, but you must believe that your company is the best in the business. That's and also helps you get that congruency. So you got to have the passion as well as the deep understanding to come across as congruent. So if you want to learn more how you can be both congruent and authentic in your scripts and your presentations, give me a call here at 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876. Or you can check out my website, syntaxofsuccess.com. Robert?
And we're talking to our own John Kurth, that wizard of words. We'll be right back with John after these brief messages. Don't go away. You don't want to miss it. Are you a sales manager with 5 or more salespeople who want to transform your team into a sales force? Are you a business owner looking to win more customers? Or are you a top-producing salesperson who wants to consistently outperform the competition? Then you need Syntactic Sales Scripting. They help you develop sales scripts, the most proven way to win customers. Well-crafted sales scripts are compelling, dynamic, and will maximize your sales results. Call Syntactic Sales Scripting today at 949-391-3876 to schedule a free 30-minute confidential telephone consultation filled with content-rich information and practical ideas that you can use immediately to make more sales. Again, call that number. It's 949-391-3876, or go to their webpage at www.syntaxofsuccess.com for complete information. You'll be glad you did.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own wizard of words, Mr. John Kurth. John, you've got the microphone.
Thanks, Robert. So we've talked about congruency, and now let's talk about authenticity. Now, why do we want to be authentic? Well, there's certainly being true to oneself. That's the definition of authenticity, but others can feel it as well. People like to work with experts. People like to work with people who are genuine. They're true to themselves. So authenticity is something that comes from deep from within. We talked about ways of being congruent, and now let's talk about how you can become authentic. One of the most important things is we can tell when someone's authentic, and we can tell when somebody is not. We either call them phonies or flakes or frauds, because it is that important is to be true to who you are. That authenticity goes through everything you do. Even if you like the person or don't like the person, you know they are true to themselves. So that's important to craft that authenticity. Well, where does authenticity come from? Authenticity is that deeper alignment, but it's alignment with both the outer and the inner. Here's what I mean by that. Authenticity with the inner. What are your values? What do you stand for? I often hear salespeople say, I can sell anything. Well, when I hear somebody say, I can sell anything, I like to clarify. Yes, you can sell anything, but some of those things you're going to sell, you won't sell very well, if at all, because it's not authentic to them. You just have to know certain things that you can sell well. Some people wouldn't mind selling cigarettes. I personally would. So you have to be very clear on what your values are, because that comes through in your selling. That's part of you being authentic to who you are, true and genuine. Another important thing on the authenticity is coming from a sense of service. Really, selling is all about service. I say selling is not a hard sell. It is a heart sell. When you're coming from that place of service, people understand that you are trying to help them make a good decision. Even if at times you need to be forceful sometimes. I'm not talking arm twisting here, but people understand, you're trying to help me make a good decision. That coming from a place of service will filter through everything that you do. Not only in your selling, if you're in a selling environment or the business owner, but anything you deal with other people, coming from a place of service. That's coming from your values. Yes, it's important to make money. I agree. We all need to make money. But if your only motivation in your business, if your only motivation in your selling is just the commission, people will pick that up. It will come across as inauthentic because everything, you cannot camouflage it. They will feel it. Yes, I want to make money. I do make money, and I'm proud of it. But it's part of everything else that I do. So there's some deep reflection here on your values. What type of product do you want to sell? What type of service do you want to sell? What type of company do you want a part of? Where is your heart? There's some people that are great technicians but should not be selling because they can't come from that place of service. So part of developing that authenticity is coming from your values, but it's mostly inside out. It's not outside in. We've all met people that might have looked the part, but you sense something wasn't right. They were inauthentic. We also know people who don't look the part, but are totally genuine. I give you an example. He looks the part. He's very authentic, but it's Willie Nelson. You look at Willie Nelson, you know he's Willie. He's authentically who he is. This is what you see is what you get. So that's core to developing your authenticity, is knowing what your values are, making sure everything is in alignment. Now, another thing about authenticity is who your target market is. Yes, you're going to be true to yourself, but in some target markets, your authenticity is going to resonate better than in others. Case in point, one of my clients went to speak at it was like the Socially Conscious Chamber of Commerce. The thing is, he spoke to them before talking with me. He came across as very direct. It was a little too over the top. He was talking about profits, and mission and purpose came later. He had a very bad reaction. Well, he was authentic to who he was. However, the market wasn't a good fit for that in that particular circumstance. And now he could have been totally authentic to who he was and coming from talking about service and what he was doing and how getting the audience connected to the role of service would help them be more successful. So another thing about your authenticity, yes, you need to be authentic to who you are. And some target markets, some groups, it's going to resonate more effectively than with others. And people want to work with people who are genuine. Here's a particular scripting technique that can help you, but it applies here to authenticity. It's called the 101% rule. What is one thing, 1%, you may disagree with the person, but there's one thing that they do well that you can agree upon 100%. Some people loved Ronald Reagan as president. Some people didn't like him very much. But you could not ignore him. He was called the great communicator because even the people who disagreed with him agreed he was one of the most effective presidents at communicating that we've had in recent memory. So that's the 101%. Find 1% that you can agree with 100%. Well, that comes into your authenticity as well. You need to be true to yourself. And if you're talking to somebody that you may have a disagreement with, or there may be some other things, what is 1%, one thing that they do that you can agree with 100%? So you're authentic to who you are, and you can also relate to them in an authentic, genuine way. What if you don't feel you're as authentic as you could be? Well, you need to do some homework. You need to do some looking into what are your values, what do you stand for. This is not woo-woo. This is very practical on your effectiveness in your communication, whether you're in business or a sales professional. So you want to be authentic. So if you want to learn how you can be more authentic at very different levels, and for a complimentary consultation, call me here at 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876. Robert?
And we're talking to our own Wizard of Words, John Kurth. And as long as I can remember to put my microphone on before I start talking, John will be able to get back in the time that he's expecting to get back. So do not go away. We'll be right back with John Kurth after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Dental Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth. And John, you've got the microphone.
Thanks, Robert. So we were talking about congruency and authenticity and then authentic presence. The important thing is congruency equals authenticity. When you're congruent, we talked about the things on how to develop congruency, that's the outer, you will be more authentic. And then authenticity is from the inside out. When you have both of those, you're going to be even more effective as a communicator and persuader, whether you're in business or a sales professional or just a member in your community. Now, the highest level of congruency and authenticity is developing what's called authentic presence. Now, let's get into definitions here. Presence is the area immediately surrounding a great personage, either a king or a queen or a great leader. Well, one of the things for you is to develop your authentic presence. That is where you're going to have the most influence. That's how you're going to have the greatest effect on your business and in your community. So what is it? We talked about the physical space, the space surrounding a great personage, a man or a woman, king or a queen, or a great leader. So that's what it is. But how are we developing it? Part of it is coming from the inside out. We talked about the congruency and that authenticity. But your authentic presence is your authentic voice, not just your voice of your language, but we see about artists. Artists have their authentic voice. Like Picasso had certain periods, and then finally he had when you see it, you know instantly it's a Picasso. When you see a Van Gogh, you know instantly it's a Van Gogh. That is their artistic voice coming through. So when you're talking about in business or in selling or in other aspects, your authentic presence is your voice coming through loud and clear. Now, how do we do that? Part of that is particular scripts you'll use. I'm very conversant in many different types of scripts. Absolutely. I'm a script coach. I'm a script trainer. That's what I do. Nevertheless, I have certain things, certain scripting techniques that I prefer to use that permeate my communications. Think of it like having your fingerprint. You have a fingerprint that identifies who you are. Your authentic presence is your authentic voice. I have had clients at events that have worked with me. It's a 30-second elevator script, and other people in the audience say, oh, yeah, you're working with John. I'm like, how did you know that? I didn't tell you I was working with John. Because my voice on their scripts came through loud and clear, but we've then tweaked it and refined it for their own voice. So developing your authentic presence is a layering process of your congruency or authenticity, and then you're able to project that out into every communication that you have. Think of it like your brand. What is a brand? It is from a business point of view, it's conveying everything and essence of a particular product or service in the logo. That's the brand. Well, authentic presence is your personal brand as a professional, speaking, or as a business owner, or just leading. To give you a couple examples of authentic presence, you know it when you see it. You know it when you feel it. It's both a feeling, a seeing, and a hearing. But two good friends of mine. One, her name is Kate. She was trained, this is when I was overseas, as a Taiwan opera singer. Well, she had authentic presence. She was regal. Whenever she spoke, interacted, just even a conversation, she just carried herself like a diva, like she was the star of the stage, and she was certainly able to talk to me and listen to me. But I felt, wow, she's just had this royal presence to her. That is authentic presence. Another person I met that had one of the highest leadership levels I've ever experienced, his name was Thomas. He was a retired 3-star general in the Taiwan Air Force. Well, it didn't matter. The group we were with was a bunch of civilians, and he was retired for 5 years. He was in charge. Whatever he said, you just ended up doing what he didn't order us around, but his suggestions carried so much greater weight. That's authentic presence. So I'm just giving you 2 stories from that. But again, that authentic presence needs to come from within. And when it does, then you're able to have massive influence. Because when you're talking about scripting and using your scripts in a group presentation in front of the room, then your congruency or authenticity becomes authentic presence, and that's where you have mass influence. If you want to be more successful in your business, whether you're selling or as a business owner, it's the higher levels of influence. It's the massive influence, the ability to influence many people where the biggest payoffs are. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. When he was in front of the Mac world, he, of course, was his presence. You knew it was who he was. And, yes, he was head of that large company, and he brought the company back from the brink and all those other things. He was able to sell, look, here's the new iPhone that's coming out. We're taking pre-orders now. The pre-order hotline is this. This is how much it is. People bought it by the millions of dollars of pre-orders, because that came from the authentic presence. So if you're really looking to elevate your business to the highest level, it may take some time, but you have to start with congruency, develop your authenticity from the inside out, and then when you have both of those, then you're in a position to develop your authentic presence. And if you really want to get good at it, videotape yourself speaking. That's going to be one of the most effective ways for you to develop it further. So these are 3 of the key levers to be even more effective in your selling. So if you want to learn more how to be more effective in your selling, call me for a complimentary consultation. My number here, 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876. Robert?
And we've been talking to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth. John, as usual, it was a fantastic show, just loaded and jam-packed with information that is useful for people that they can actually make a part of their business lives today and benefit from it. So I want to thank you for what was a great 3 segments today, which turn out to be that way every week. So I don't know why I keep thanking you, other than to acknowledge the fact that you are certainly an expert amongst the people who script for success.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with our own, we'll call him that little old wine drinker, John Hanson, right after these brief messages. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Do you suffer from autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, or weight loss problems? Geared for Wellness can help. Sean Lefebvre and his Geared for Wellness program employs a synergistic team, including experts in the fields of chiropractic, diet, nutrition, and neurotoxicity.
Together, their experienced team is trained in utilizing cutting-edge and up-to-date nutrition and cellular detoxification programs designed to treat autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, Graves' disease, weight loss resistance, fibromyalgia, and much more. Contact them today to schedule your 100% guaranteed consultation. If you don't agree that they can help you, you don't pay. Call them now at 442-400-4373 or go to their webpage at www.gearedforwellness.com. Again, that number is 442-400-4373. You'll be glad you did. Set Up My Cell is a smartphone and tablet setup and training service that sends a tech to your location. That's right. Set Up My Cell will send a live tech to your home or office for smartphone and tablet tech support and training. Their techs can fix email glitches, sync iPhones with Android, PC, and Mac, and so much more. Contact them toll-free at 888-628-1119. For individuals, learn about everything our techs can do to help you make friends with your smart device. It is our opinion that a basic setup should be installed onto every device. Learn how we guide you through the session to choose the best apps and configurations with training. And for businesses, loading apps, configurations, security settings, training, we are able to help with all aspects of your investment. Please visit our webpage at setupmycell.com and don't forget to call us at 888-628-1119. Are you looking for real conservative talk from real conservatives? You need to listen to my good friend John Matthews on his radio show, The Conservative Syndicate. For over 50 years, the progressive movement has worked to redefine our Constitution by erecting an imaginary wall of separation between church and state through legislation and adjudication that encourages government dependence and the licensing of immorality that removes personal responsibility. The Conservative Syndicate seeks to tear down this wall through education, information, and engagement with those who seek uncompromising truth regarding the religion of politics and the politics of religion. It is time to reclaim our standing as one nation under God, hosted by John Matthews, citizen by birth, Christian by grace, patriot by choice, and conservative by all that is reasonable. John's radio show is globally syndicated daily. Go to his website at www.theconservativesyndicate.net for broadcast information. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:07 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 68 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, my good buddy John Hansen's waiting in the wings, a little old wine drinker. Let's get him in here and see what he's got to say this
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hansen.
Hey, John, welcome aboard. Good to have you here, my good friend. I always look forward to your segments, mainly because I don't know where the heck the time goes. You and I start talking, and before we know it, we're out of time.
Well, you know, I just can't believe my good friend's going to be 70 in a week, so I just want to be one of the first to say happy birthday, my friend. That's unbelievable.
One week from today, if I survive it, I'll be 70. You're absolutely right. You know.
Was I a little premature?
No. I mean, God, John, I hope not. You know, given the alternative doesn't look too enticing to me.
Yeah, I don't blame you there, my friend.
You know, but you know what? I don't feel that ancient. You know, almost 3/4 of a century old. My goodness.
Well, you know, you're as old as you feel, Bob. So.
Yep. Well, I don't. Well, you know what? I got to tell you the truth, John. Now, you know, we've got a fairly large home, and we have 6 bathrooms, and there's only 2 of us living in this house, and I got hit with a $500 water bill this month,
already?
And I thought, what on earth happened? And I was just fuming. I'm going to go down to the water company, and I was just fuming. How the heck could 2 people have use twice as much water than they've ever used? And so I had somebody was over at the house, and they came out and they said, Bob, I think you've got a leak in one of your toilets, in the tank. And I said, really? So I checked it, and not only was there, where the ball cock stops the water from going.
Right.
Not only was there a leak in one, there was a leak in 3, and they were going 24/7. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, and that's what that was all about. So I'm sure the water company is not going to have any empathy for me.
Well, I thought they're supposed to give you a warning before they actually tag you with that $500. I mean,
they hit me with $500. But now here's the thing, John. Me, if it's something that I can do on my own, I feel really comfortable with, especially something that's that easy, I went ahead and did it. So I went out and I went to the hardware store, bought the stuff that I needed, and yesterday got down on my hands and knees and got, squirmed around the back sides of those toilets where I needed to get to. And then this morning I woke up wondering if anybody got the license number to the truck that hit me. Because, man, I hurt in places that I didn't even know I had.
Welcome to the step.
So, anyway.
And I don't mean the decade. I mean.
Yeah, I know. The rest of my life is gonna be like this, right?
Oh gosh. Maybe you don't want to live to Monday, Bob. I don't know. It's that bad.
Well, yeah, it was a killer.
I tell you,
I do want to live till Monday. I'll get past this. I'll just know better.
You will, my friend. I hope you live to 120.
Oh, God! As long as I can walk, talk, and be coherent, right?
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Yes.
So listen, did you do anything special this weekend?
No, nothing really pertinent. I mean, just got caught up on some things. I've been trying to. It's funny because whenever you go on vacation, I don't know, it takes me like 2 months to get back to normal. So I mean, I'm just trying to catch up on things, and so it's more of a, just staying home, catching up on stuff, and not really doing much. Although we had a couple friends over to watch the Clipper game. And
wasn't Avery and Zach over there this last week?
No, they come on Mondays. So
they come on Monday.
They were there last Monday, yeah.
Because I know you were preparing a special meal, and I was wondering how it went.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Avery, she's starting to get a little finicky. But Zach will eat anything. I mean, you put anything from that kid in, he'll just eat anything. So Avery's more that, okay, I ate, I want to go play. That's Avery's mantra right there. So
well, my granddaughter Riley, who's now at NYU, she was what I used to call an adventurous eater. She'd eat anything as long as I told her it was chicken.
Well, everything tastes like chicken, right?
Yeah.
You got alligator, you got frog legs, you got whatever. It all tastes like chicken. So you can just tell it's chicken, she'll love it. So did you go anywhere special this weekend?
I didn't go anywhere special this weekend, but this coming weekend I'm going with my wife, who's celebrating her birthday 5 days before I do. We're going to go to San Diego and enjoy. Well, I guess we'll probably be celebrating each other's birthday on this trip. Although I've been told to hang loose on Monday. Monday, Memorial Day, is also my birthday, so we'll see if anything, whatever happens. I do know that if there's nothing planned, I'll be calling my good buddy over in Anaheim.
I'll be there. Hey, I mean, this year, I mean, it's your 70th birthday, but also your 50th anniversary. So that is such a milestone. That is amazing, my friend. Congratulations. Yeah. That is just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's hard to, I make jokes about being married 50 years, but the truth is, John, it's gone by in the blink of an eye. I think that if you're as lucky as I am to have accidentally picked right, it's just been an absolutely marvelous journey for me. Now, that doesn't mean that we haven't had some rocky times, because I have done some stupid things where she has let me know how stupid they were. But boy, I'll tell you what.
Your motorcycle into a mountain?
Well, yeah, that in a celebration I had at the Hilton Hotel one year. In any event,
we won't bring that up.
We have to go on a short break, John. Why don't when we come back, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we're going to talk about restaurants and also a little bit about wine.
restaurants, a little bit of wine. We'll be right back with that little old wine drinker, John Hanson, right after these brief messages. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good friend John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. And I think we're going to talk about wine pairings today. Certainly going to talk about some food. We're going to talk about some wine. We're going to talk about some good times. And you know what? Whenever you can share that with good friends, boy, it doesn't get any better than that, John.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Well, Bob, one of the questions that came up, I mean, we've done several restaurants. We actually done a show at the White House, and we brought some people on. And one of the questions is like, okay, where are the nicest restaurants? Where would you go to eat in Orange County? And also, we'll talk a little about the Inland Empire as well. But, of course, I'm not going to bring up Napa Rose because everybody's going to say you're biased, Napa Rose, because you're there. But
yeah, but I'm not biased, and I'm thinking it's one of the best.
I know. It is amazing, and you've been there several times. I tell you, you want an incredible dining experience, and Napa Rose is incredible. But when I go out, and since I'm there 5 days a week, I really don't want to go back to the Napa Rose. Probably my favorite restaurant is Andrea's at Pelican Hill in the Newport Coast. More of an Italian theme, but just unbelievable restaurant. We love going there. And I tell you, everybody, go try it. It is amazing. You're right on the coast there, and it's just beautiful. The restaurant's beautiful. The area is beautiful, and what a great restaurant. But there's some classic restaurants there in Orange County as well. Five Crowns, right in Corona Del Mar.
Been there forever.
Long time. Oh gosh, and they're always just good. More old school. But what a great restaurant, Bob.
Oh yeah, one of my favorites, is the Hobbit. I still like to go to the Hobbit from time to time. I don't know, I haven't been there in a long time, but boy, what a magnificent experience that is.
Well, and I tell you that if you want, it's more of a set dinner. It's not like a restaurant you go and choose. It's more of a set dinner there, but it is a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll definitely put the Hobbit in the top restaurants in Orange County. But I tell you, there's a little place in Costa Mesa too called Cafe Rouge. Letterby's Cafe Rouge, nice little place as well. You got the Little Friend in Santa Ana, right off of Main Street there. Great little place. You can go for lunch and dinner. Probably another place we go a lot that I love, and this is actually probably Philippe's favorite restaurant, is Marché Moderne. That's in South Coast Plaza in Costa Mesa. And I tell you, what a great dining experience there. Number 6, when we go to our old good friend Michael Jordan, that was there for a while. Now he's gone. Of course, he's running Majestic Wines up there in Napa Valley. But the Ranch, a lot of staff, of course, good friends of ours that used to actually work at Napa Rose. Chef Michael Rossi, incredible chef. Food's incredible, great atmosphere, and we always have a great time there at the Ranch. A little south of us, let's go Sapphire Laguna, down in Laguna Beach. There's some great restaurants, little gems, and it's just so pretty down there in Laguna Beach. You go down PCH. It's a beautiful area, some great restaurants. I mean, we can talk about, there's so many great restaurants. I mean, we talked about the Olive and Fig and Red O and that we just went to, I don't know, about a month ago. My gosh, you can just basically pop in anywhere, and just some amazing restaurants in Orange County. But a lot of restaurants people don't know about. I tell you, the Stonehill Tavern at the St. Regis Hotel in Dana Point. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, great dining experience right there. Another one of my favorites is a studio at Montage in Laguna Beach.
Oh yeah, I've eaten there a number of times. I love it. And you know what? And you talk about, they make you feel comfortable, not stuffy at the Montage at the studio.
Yeah, and it is. I say it's very elegant. I mean, and you could go in and feel well placed because it is very elegant and so forth. But they make you feel like you're home, and that's one great aspect about the studio. But I love sushi, and let's go to sushi. We got to throw in the sushi thing. So Sushi Noguchi in Loma Linda. I mean, great lunch, dinner, great sake selection up there too. So if you love sake with sushi, but I was turned on a good friend that lives out there in Loma Linda, Kevin Chitwood, and I tell you, I mean, you just sit there and order whatever you want; they'll get it for you. And I tell you, I love sushi, so we got to just throw a sushi one in there. But Bob, I mean, I know your neck of the woods is some great restaurants too. So we're going to do the Inland Empire, and of course, the number one restaurant is Casa Cardoza. Now, don't go there and get in. I do know some people.
Don't just show up. You know what? Out of Laguna Beach, one of my favorite places in Laguna Beach is Las Brisas.
Oh, right on the water. I mean, what a great brunch they have at Las Brisas. We can do the top 100 in Orange County. We can sit here and talk and talk and talk. There's so many great restaurants in Orange County. Oh, yeah. And I just threw a quick list together that we enjoy going to, and some stuff that maybe people never heard of. That, hey, if you're in that area, as I said, I wanted to hit Costa Mesa. You can spend all day just in Costa Mesa. Laguna Beach you can spend all day as well. Santa Ana has some great little restaurants too, and as I say, you can just talk and talk and talk all day about Orange County.
Oh yeah,
I tell you, we've had some great culinary experiences in the Inland Empire, and as I said, probably my heart's at Casa Cardoza, but you can't just walk in. Reservations only, and you got to know somebody to get in there. So, but we have some contacts, okay? Yeah. But our stomping grounds, the New York Grill, in its heyday was just amazing. Still a great restaurant, and we got to throw in. Hey, let's go number 3, Roses. Roses was a great restaurant as well.
Oh yeah.
But if you go up to like Big Bear Lake, the Peppercorn Grill, if you've never been there, see if you're up in that area.
Have you ever eaten at the Casual Elegance in Twin Peaks?
Oh, Casual Elegance as well. My gosh, yeah, absolutely. There's just some nice little restaurants up in that area where you think you're kind of remote out of anywhere. There's some little gems up there.
Have you ever, in Palm Springs, you ever eaten at Le Valeris?
Oh, gosh, you can talk about Palm Springs. I mean,
oh yeah.
There's some unbelievable. I think there's still a velvet turtle out there, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think I actually think there is a velvet turtle out there. I haven't been to a velvet turtle in years and years and years, but
oh yeah, it was 30 years since the last time I've been on a velvet turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great little restaurants out there.
And I can't believe you passed right by Pico Rivera, the Del Rey,
yeah, I guess. Well, that's L.A. County, right? Pico Rivera.
Oh, that's true. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Oh man, L.A. would take about 3 shows to talk about.
Yeah.
For restaurants and so far. I mean, we've been to some incredible restaurants in L.A. as well. But I tell you, in the Inland Empire, another one that my old stomping grounds, Dwayne's at the Mission Inn in Riverside.
Oh, yeah.
Still, I mean, it's maybe not what it was in its day, but still a great restaurant. And there's a lot of old school restaurants too, Bob.
Some places the ambiance of the place makes it too. I mean, if you talk about, you were talking about Dwayne's, their food is good, their service is good, but the ambiance, the atmosphere is just phenomenal, romantic, just terrific.
Well, Bob, you go old school, the Sycamore Inn, Joe Greensleeve, some incredible restaurants out there as well. And,
let's talk more about this, John, when we come back from this commercial break. We'll be right back with John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, and a run of the restaurants. Matter of fact, you can't even run the restaurants in the Southland. There's just too many of them. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good friend John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. And John, when we got off, we were actually going on a culinary tour of the Southland. Why don't we continue that?
Well, we were, and we were talking to the old school restaurants that's been there for a long time. And you and I probably had dinners in the late 80s at the Sycamore Inn and Joe Greensleeves in Redlands there. But I tell you, another restaurant that actually has roots, if you will, back in the 80s and 90s is Fraggie's in Upland. The old chef from Rose's, Henry, is the chef there. It's his restaurant, and that's a great little restaurant, too. There's so many great little restaurants. I tell you, a great little area is Claremont. You go right up to
they've got some great restaurants.
So many. Oh my gosh, Bob! We can spend a half an hour just talking about the restaurants and stuff there in Claremont as well. It's funny because people they and what we were talking off the air is that they just go out to these chain restaurants like we were talking about like Chili's and whatever else is out there.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Applebee's and
Applebee's,
Outback.
Yeah, Outback, exactly. And it's just mediocre food. I mean, it's great if you're just hungry and you just need to get something to eat. But if you're going to go out and have a nice dinner with your family or wife, I mean, make it an experience. That there's so many great little restaurants out there where you can get a nice little experience. The Pine Steakhouse at San Manuel, the Indian Casino there at San Manuel is a nice little experience. I tell you, Bob, we went out. We got a lot of great press on the Brio. And we went there, and I tell you, the appetizers were amazing. We were a little disappointed with the entrees. But I tell you, one of the best bellinis, those frozen bellinis, were incredible, especially in the summer.
Yeah, they were.
Hey, go and get an appetizer and get one of those frozen bellinis. It's funny because when we go out to our properties in Victorville, when we're coming down and for lunch, we get down there enough. Ray and I always stop at the Brio and just have like a couple appetizers and a couple of those bellinis.
I don't know that I would go there for dinner again, but I would go there and just order a whole shipload of appetizers and enjoy those. I mean, sometimes that variety is a lot of fun,
Well, I tell you, I mean, all the appetizers were amazing, and it was like, my God, it just really did because as I said, we talked about Yelp so many times, and don't go to Yelp because you don't know if it's Mary at 19 that's only in McDonald's, and then she goes to Chili's and says, my God, this is the best dining experience I ever had, or is it Michelle at 35 that just had dinner at the French Laundry before that? You don't know who these people are and what's going on, so it's kind of you just throwing yourself out there. And we heard some great stuff on Yelp, so we went there, and we were so impressed with the appetizers. I think we had such high expectations with the entrees that we just totally dropped the ball there. Like, my gosh, what happened? And,
hey, I'll tell you, there's a new restaurant. I don't know if have you eaten at Paul Martin's yet? In Victoria Gardens?
Isn't there one in Irvine at the Spectrum?
I don't know, but there's a Paul Martin in the Victoria Gardens, and boy, I want to tell you, we went for dinner there 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago in John. That's the place where you and Raina and Maureen and I need to go. What a magnificent meal we had, and the service was fantastic. They have only fresh food cooked from scratch, so it's not like, nothing is pre-prepared, but it's just unbelievably good.
And they got a nice wine list as well, right?
And they've got a nice wine list. Yes, they do.
Yeah, I think there's one at the Irvine Spectrum as well, if I'm not mistaken. That we had a great experience down there as well. Let's set that up real soon. That sounds great. Great. But as I said, Bob, go out. Don't sell yourself short. Go out and have a great dining experience. There's so many great. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I say we can do 12 shows just talking about restaurants. How many restaurants are in Southern California here that are definitely worth going to? But as I said, we just want to throw a few out there, and don't look at chain restaurants. I mean, go out and see some incredible restaurants out there. It is a great experience. It'd be well worth your while, and you'll be very happy. I assure you.
Yeah. And we were saying this actually during the break, and we should say it here on the air too, John. People that go to, I don't care if they're going to Chili's or Applebee's or Outback or wherever they're going. By the time they have one or two cocktails and they have a bottle of wine and they order the entrees and a dessert and the whole 9 yards, truth is, they're not spending much less than they would spend in a fine dining restaurant, and they're not getting the real experience that they deserve for themselves.
Exactly. I mean, it's not just the food, but it's also the atmosphere, and it's a whole package. So, it's a chain. Chains are great if hey, I'm starving, I need to get something quick. Great. The food comes up quick. It's average at best, but hey, if that's all you want, that's fine. But if you're going to go out and have dinner, there's so many great little restaurants everywhere. I mean, we can go to each city and just rattle off 10 restaurants you can go to and have an incredible dining experience at.
So here's the deal, John. We got 60 seconds. Do we have a wine of the week this week?
I'm glad you said that. Well, you know what? I was.
You're trying to think. I know you're trying to think. You're trying to think of one real fast, aren't you?
No. I actually got one. Because I tell you, I was going to talk about the United States, but Oregon, 2012. I tell you, what a great year. I mean, reds and whites. There's some incredible wines out there, but I tell you, I had the 2012 At a Shine Pinot Gris, bright acids. I mean, you get minerality on these wines too. If I was blind tasting, I probably would have said this was an old world wine, probably Alsatian or something. But I tell you, for a fraction of the prices that you're paying for these wines, look for 2012 out of Oregon Pinot Chard Alsatian varietals. Let's do the At a Shine Pinot Gris 2012 is definitely the wine pick of the week.
Well, John, there we go. Another full show. I can't believe we've gone through it. We didn't even begin to cover the stuff you wanted to cover.
I know. Well, we'll catch up someday, Bob.
All right, my friend. Hey, listen, we've been talking to my good friend John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. Don't go away. When we come back, I'm going to talk about the birthdays for today, the secret daily teachings for your life, the Harvard Business Tip of the Day, and interesting but useless facts. You don't want to miss any of these things. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do you suffer from autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, or weight loss problems? Geared for Wellness can help. Sean Lefebvre and his Geared for Wellness program employs a synergistic team including experts in the fields of chiropractic, diet, nutrition, and neurotoxicity. Together, their experienced team is trained in utilizing cutting-edge and up-to-date nutrition and cellular detoxification programs designed to treat autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, Graves' disease, weight loss resistance, fibromyalgia, and much more. Contact them today to schedule your 100% guaranteed consultation. If you don't agree that they can help you, you don't pay. Call them now at 442-400-4373 or go to their webpage at www.gearedforwellness.com. Again, that number is 442-400-4373. You'll be glad you did. Set Up My Cell is a smartphone and tablet setup and training service that sends a tech to your location. That's right. Set Up My Cell will send a live tech to your home or office for smartphone and tablet tech support and training. Their techs can fix email glitches, sync iPhones with Android, PC, and Mac, and so much more. Contact them toll-free at 888-628-1119. For individuals, learn about everything our techs can do to help you make friends with your smart device. It is our opinion that a basic setup should be installed onto every device. Learn how we guide you through the session to choose the best apps and configurations with training. And for businesses, loading apps, configurations, security settings, training, we are able to help with all aspects of your investment. Please visit our webpage at setupmycell.com
And don't forget to call us at 888-628-1119. Are you looking for real conservative talk from real conservatives? You need to listen to my good friend John Matthews on his radio show, The Conservative Syndicate. For over 50 years, the progressive movement has worked to redefine our Constitution by erecting an imaginary wall of separation between church and state through legislation and adjudication that encourages government dependence and the licensing of immorality that removes personal responsibility. The Conservative Syndicate seeks to tear down this wall through education, information, and engagement with those who seek uncompromising truth regarding the religion of politics and the politics of religion. It is time to reclaim our standing as one nation under God, hosted by John Matthews, citizen by birth, Christian by grace, patriot by choice, and conservative by all that is reasonable. John's radio show is globally syndicated daily. Go to his website at www.theconservativesyndicate.net for broadcast information. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:41 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 66 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. It's on its way down to 52 in sunny Southern California. Well, today is May 18th, and, yep, it's somebody's birthday. Yes, sir. He was born in 1897 and passed away in 1991. Classic film director of It Happened One Night. Not only that, happy birthday to Frank Capra. And here's a guy, 1946 was his birthday. Baseball player who was nicknamed Mr. October for his World Series heroics. Happy birthday, Reggie Jackson. And here's one, Chow Fun Fat, born in 1955, superstar, actor in Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. And here's a lovely lady, born in 1970, first female writer for Saturday Night Live and currently starring in 30 Rock. Happy birthday, Tina Fey. And how about today in history? On May 18th, 1804, Napoleon Bonaparte is proclaimed Emperor of the French by the French Senate. And in 1897, Dracula, a novel by Irish author Bram Stoker, is published. And in 1910, the Earth passes through the tail of Halley's Comet. And then finally, in 1926, evangelist Amy Semple McPherson disappears while visiting a Venice in California Beach. Not Venice, Italy, but Venice Beach, California. You know what? Our quote for today came from Frank Tiger. Frank says, "Be a good listener. Your ears will never get you into trouble." Boy, isn't that the truth? That's one for us all to remember, right? Now, let's talk about those secret daily teachings for your life. You know, these are the ones you want to make them your own. Walk them, talk them, breathe them, eat them. You know, just make it your firm belief. It's all about a positive mental attitude. And the secret for today is your current reality or your current life is a result of the thoughts that you have been thinking. All of that will totally change as you begin to change your thoughts and your feelings. I'm telling you, folks, this stuff really, really works. Now, let's talk about that Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is effective coaching requires the right approach. You know, whether people change is largely determined by why they change. And they are most successful at changing when they choose to change. This is where coaching can create problems because it's often imposed rather than invited. When we feel something is being imposed on us, even if it's for our own good, our natural reaction is to resist. So if you're trying to help someone change, your first consideration must be to approach him or her in a way that enhances rather than dampens his or her motivation. Focus on asking more questions and giving fewer lectures. Your job is to help people uncover and strengthen motives that they already have so they're more inclined to take action. If you think your coaching conversations as interviews instead of sermons, you'll be far more successful in helping people change. That, my friends, is an absolute guarantee. Now, let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. You know, in the United States in 1976, a pound of potato chips cost 200 times more than a pound of potatoes. Isn't that interesting? How about this? There are no poisonous steaks. I'm sorry, I said steaks. I meant snakes. There are no poisonous snakes in the state of Maine. Well, there was no soap in the ancient Mediterranean world. Olive oil was used to wash the body in addition to cooking. So you cooked with it, you washed with it, I hope in that order. Did you know that Texas reserves the right to become 4 separate states at a time of its choosing, a condition of statehood in 1845? So when you hear Rick Perry or some of these other governors of the state of Texas that are there, and they talk about seceding from the Union, and you think, well, that can't happen, it would never happen. Remember, you heard it here. Texas actually reserves the right to become 4 separate states at a time of its choosing, a condition of its statehood in 1845. However, that doesn't mean it can secede from the United States. How about this? The Europeans first added chocolate to their coffee in the 1600s. They got it right then. They got it right now. Did you know a sneeze travels out of your mouth at about 100 miles an hour? That's fast, folks. I can't throw a baseball that fast, but I can sneeze that fast. Now, that's something. How about bees and dogs can smell fear? Isn't that interesting? And that is an absolute fact. How about this? A group of goats is called a trip. Don't ask me. You know, Kansas state law requires pedestrians crossing the highways at night to wear tail lights. You know, some of these laws that we've come across here on the show are just absolutely ridiculous. I just don't get it at all. You know, the G in G-string stands for groin. Yeah, it sure do. How about this? A full-grown bear can run as fast as a horse. Now that I find absolutely intriguing. Well, you know, Benjamin Franklin lived at 141 Market Street, Philadelphia, PA. And how about this? Dudley Do-Right's horse's name was Horse. Yeah, go figure. You know, I mean, it's just the way it is, right? You know, I'm not sure I want to go through this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Did you know that vegetarians fart more, but their farts smell less than the rest of us? Now, I'm not going to put that to the test. I don't even really care. You know, did you know that there are approximately 45 billion with a B, fat cells in an average adult? That figures. Now I know where it came from, right? How about this? Your right lung takes in more air than your left one does. There you go. Don't know why, but it's a fact. There are around 2,600 different species of frogs, if you care. They live on every continent except Antarctica. And there's another fact for you. Let me leave you with this. A survey reported that 12% of Americans think that Joan of Arc was Noah's wife. Okay, so I've done it. I mean, that's a fact. I'm not kidding you. And we'll be right back with the emails for today. My first email today is about a home refinance. It's sent to me by David Lee from Carson, California. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group, no mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently still 66 degrees in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's on its way down to 52 degrees. But you know what? We're coming down to the wire, and it's time for our emails for the day. First one, as I had mentioned before, is coming from David Lee from Carson, California, asking about a home refinance. I want to remind everybody that this is an entertainment section of the show, and the answers that I give you are based on the information you give me in your emails, which most of the time is pretty sketchy. But I'm giving you good answers based on what you give me. But for that reason, I want to always encourage you to talk to a licensed professional who is going to interview you and gather all the pertinent data necessary to give you a good comprehensive answer to your question. The other nice part about that is one of the conditions of their licenses is that they have errors and omissions insurance. They're responsible for what they tell you. And so if somebody comes knocking at your door or ringing your doorbell or sends you a registered letter, you just give it to that licensed professional. They're going to have to pay the piper, not you. That lets you sleep well at night, don't you think? Well, let's get right to this first email from David Lee. He says, I want to refinance my home and also take out some money since it has gone up in value, but I'm told a deductible refinancing loan cannot be larger than the amount of the loan used to buy the home plus $100,000. Now, if I used a $300,000 loan to buy my home, can I deduct interest on a new loan of up to $400,000? Well, David, unfortunately, the answer to your question is no, you can't. If you refinance your original home loan, you can deduct mortgage interest on a new loan amount that is equal to the remaining balance of the original loan plus $100,000, assuming there is no other home equity loan in place. So, if the original loan that you used to acquire the home was for $300,000, and you've paid the loan balance down to, let's just say, $175,000, you can deduct mortgage interest on a new loan of up to $275,000. So, David, I hope that helps you and answers your question. My next email comes from Joanne Byrne from Roswell, Georgia, asking about charitable donations and says, I received no deduction for my charitable gifts on my last tax return. The standard deduction was larger than my charity deduction, so I would have lost money filing an itemized return to claim them. It doesn't seem right that one gets the standard deduction even with no gifts to charity. Is there any way to deduct my charitable gifts? Well, Joanne, unfortunately, the answer to your question is no, I'm afraid not. And this points out another trap. At year-end, many charities solicit deductible contributions, but gifts to charity save taxes only if you file an itemized tax return, and most taxpayers don't. Only about 25, 26% do. Now, to benefit from filing an itemized return, your total deductions, including gifts to charity, must exceed the standard deduction on your returns. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, a gift to charity saves you no tax at all. And the majority of people who do itemize, it's because they own a home and they have large mortgage interest, and that's what qualifies them to itemize, and that's where they get it. So hopefully that helped you, Joanne. Now, next email comes from Kylie Ukimping. I think that I'm spelling that right. I hope I am. From Fall River, Massachusetts, asking about business outsourcing, and says, suppose my small business outsources some computing work to a foreign firm. Are there any special rules that must be followed to prove the cost incurred and be able to deduct it? Well, Kylie, the answer to your question is no. The rules are the same as if you contracted the work to a domestic business. You need to have proof of payment, such as canceled checks and documentation showing that it was made to a legitimate business services supplier, the name and contact information for the foreign firm, and the business product or service that was actually received in return, such as that would be specified on an invoice. Now, legitimate business expenses paid to foreign firms are deductible just like those paid to U.S. firms. So keep that in mind. You're going to be just fine. If you're in business, wherever you incur a business expense, it's going to be deductible for you. I was going to say expensible, but deductible for you. Now, my last email comes from John Alloway from Sanford, Maine, asking about IRS deductions, and says, on my tax return, I see where to report a contribution to a regular IRA, but not to a Roth IRA. Am I missing something? How does one report a Roth IRA contribution to the IRS? Well, John, you're not missing anything. Annual contributions to Roth IRAs are not deductible and do not affect the tax bill, so they are not reported on the tax return. If you're eligible to make a contribution, you simply make it and keep appropriate records for the account. Now, take note, while a Roth contribution won't affect the tax bill, it may qualify you to take a retirement savings contributions credit that reduces your taxes. Now, to be eligible, adjusted gross income must not exceed $50,000 on a joint return or $25,000 on a single one. Other rules also apply, so for details, go to the instructions to IRS Form 8880, Credit for Qualified Retirement Savings Contributions. You'll be glad you did that. Now, I want to remind you that this is an entertainment section. I'm giving you the best answers I know how to give you based on the sketchy information you give me in your emails. Always, always, always contact a licensed professional. They're going to interview you and gather all of the pertinent data that's necessary to make sure that you get a good comprehensive answer and that you don't get in any kind of trouble. Besides which, if you do get in trouble after that, they're responsible, not you. They're going to pay the piper, not you. Think about it. You'll sleep really, really well at night. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every single Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. My next show, my expert contributor will be Suzette Mailer with her Travel Corner, and my special guest is Stephen Gregg, the Sales Coaching Pro. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RL LLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Don't forget to visit me again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Time for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, stay good, stay healthy, stay happy, and good night, everybody.